Good morning. I'm Dr. Vishnu Durga from Action Coach Guyana and the Who's Who in Guyana Business. And today we continue our series of interviews with very innovative companies that are making sure that the wheels of our economy keep turning. They make sure that people are getting their very essential supplies as well. And today I am joined by Mr. Victor uh, Pires. And
Yeah.
please help me if am I pronouncing that correctly?
Yeah, acceptable. I've been called
Acceptable.
everything from P who to P what.
All right, all right. Victor, tell me, a little bit more about Caribbean Chemicals. It is a household name in Guyana, but people might not know exactly maybe the origin and the range of what Caribbean Chemicals brings to the market. And what I'll also do whilst you're giving a bit of an explanation, I'll pull up your website and your social media presence. So tell me a little bit more about Caribbean Chemicals.
Well, Creamy Chemicals was started by my parents. My father was the colonial plant pathologist in Guyana, um, and he was transferred to Trinidad, and we were in Trinidad. I was born in Guyana, um, and he was transferred to Trinidad, and we were in Trinidad for independence. So we ended up staying there. Um, he went to work for ESSO in those days and started fertilizer use in the Caribbean. Um, when ESSO sold off its agricultural business, he opened up Caribbean Chemicals in 1966. And we were present in Guyana, Trinidad, Barbados. We now have offices in Jamaica, Trinidad, Guyana, and Suriname.
Very good. And I can see on your social media page as well quite a bit of fantastic produce. And when we were talking a little bit before, you mentioned to me the craze that is going on right now with backyard gardening. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, a lot of people have gone into backyard gardening um, under different reasons, but um, I think the most reasonable thing is that they want something to do when they're home,
Hmm.
right? Even though I've seen a couple of my friends showing pictures of their backyard garden full of weeds, they keep forgetting that a garden can only produce as well as you give it a chance to do. And weeds are your worst enemy. They harbor insects, fungus, they steal nutrition and um, reduce yields.
So if you were to give some advice to people who are thinking about getting into a backyard garden or already doing it, what would be your top pieces of advice?
Two things: weeds and food. Um, West Indians in general, Guyanese and Trinidadians in particular, have this thing about mole. Mole is a mole, it's not a fertilizer.
Right, right, right.
Right? That's why it's termed a mole.
Mhm.
It helps fertilizers become available to the plant. If you don't add fertilizer, and I mean, I sell mineral fertilizers, in other words, they come from rock that are mined in places like Florida, Canada, Morocco, Egypt, all over the world.
Mhm.
Right? You have Chile with the Chilean nitrate. So fertilizer is not um, it's hard to explain to a normal person about organic, inorganic.
Mhm.
Organic is not a fertilizer, it's an additive.
Right, right, right.
Right? It helps the plant produce fertilizer.
Right.
Well,
And
I shouldn't say produce, utilize.
utilize it. And I was also going to ask you in terms of advice, because a lot of people are not professional agronomists, or they haven't been in agriculture before. Is that also something that you and the team at Caribbean Chemicals would provide to backyard gardeners?
Yeah, we produce our calendar that you can see behind me.
Hmm.
That gives a lot of advice. The website also has a lot of advice on it.
Yeah.
We have produced guides on how to do different crops. Oops.
Hmm. Yeah, I can see you.
Yeah, well, I lost you.
I check the browser that you're on, but
All right, I
so
got you back.
information is available on how people can actually get started.
Yeah, they are
And
guides. But
right,
as I
and
said, the most important thing is proper layout,
mhm,
weed control, and using the mineral fertilizers.
good. And we did
Mineral
speak about.
fertilizer will be like rice or potato, while a mole is more like a tonic
Mhm.
that helps supplement.
Okay, okay.
Doesn't take the place of rice.
I think we
Yeah,
definitely need to do a session on just the whole concept of backyard gardening, because a lot of people might actually be interested. And I'm thinking that they might be disappointed if it doesn't work well, but it might not work well because they
well,
don't have the
it's a learning
knowledge.
curve on it, as like everything else. You're gonna make mistakes before
Hmm.
you can get any good at it.
Very
I
good,
mean, I've
very good.
seen um, we do a TV program, and we started doing that TV program in 1966 in
Hmm.
Trinidad.
Yeah.
And my father started a backyard garden competition for vegetables.
Hmm.
And it was amazing what some people did in a small space.
Okay, okay.
We
What's the
had
minimum
one,
space that is needed?
um, there's no real minimum. People do it in tubs,
Hmm.
people do it in buckets, half
Yes.
barrels.
Mm,
It's how you can do it.
yeah. The other question I had as well is that at this point in time, I know that you are an essential service keeping our agriculture sector going. But how are you doing that safely at the moment? How are you safeguarding your team and the people who visit the your entity?
Um, well, most of my team is outside in the field, so they're more or less isolated. They deal one on one with farmers.
Hmm.
Right? In the store, most of our customers are quite well conditioned, I would have to say.
So that,
They come in with their masks, they keep their distances, and we deal with them one at a time.
yeah, very
Right?
good,
But
very good.
unlike a bank, we don't have much of a lineup.
Yeah. Yeah, you never know. If people really take gardening seriously, you might have a longer line than the bank.
Well, I mean, I
Uh,
could tell you I'm all out of packet seeds right now because
okay,
of backyard gardeners.
very nice, very nice. And when do you expect to get that back in stock?
The shipment is due in 2 weeks.
Okay, okay. All right, very good. We have
We,
now been
we went
facing.
through a half a year supply in the past 6 weeks.
Yeah, I think it's good. I hope it stays. I hope people keep this habit of gardening, because it gives you, nothing sweeter, I think, of picking your own vegetables and your own fruits and being able to consume them, and being able to share with family. I have a lot of clients actually who have farms in different areas, and every so often, I get the whole basket with all kind of different things, and it feels really good,
Yeah.
that
Well, don't
that-
leave flowers out of it, huh?
yeah.
Because
I think, well, we
a lot of
yeah we
people don't want to do vegetables; they want to do flowers and
maybe
flowering
I
plants.
need to invite you across by us in Kingston a day, because we do have a pretty nice flower garden, and always looking for some ideas on what to do there. It's a very relaxing, right? I like it because it's very relaxing on the weekends and the evening to sit in the flower garden. It really allows you to get clarity of mind.
Yeah. I mean, you'd be surprised at some of the best vegetable gardeners we have.
Hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? A guy like Jerry McDC
Mm-hmm.
started out growing things in his backyard and then went into production
Right.
because he liked it
Yeah. Well,
and was quite good at it.
yeah, I've seen some fantastic gardens right in the middle of Georgetown. In
Yeah,
places where you wouldn't expect it. Behind Thomas Street and in the back of beautiful gardens.
yeah, yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, now that we face these conditions for more than 6 weeks, both crises. We have a GCOM crisis going on. We have a COVID crisis going on. I don't know which one is really worse at the moment. You
GCOM.
know, so what's some advice that comes to your mind when you think about what Guyanese are facing, what Guyanese businesses are facing, and what you have faced, and what advice would you like to provide on that?
Um, One of the things is that I've never seen a negative campaign or a force lockdown or anything like that work.
Mm, mm,
Prohibition is the prime example of that in the US.
yeah,
All it created was gangsters.
yeah,
Um, I don't think our politicians understand that Guyana is not the 60s
mm,
or the 50s. Guyana is totally different now.
mm,
Um, we got to live with what we have, and we got to live with each other. Right? As far as the health crisis is, we are a little above some of the region, but I don't think it is bad
mm,
as it could have been.
mm,
Um, we're kind of lucky in that we have a lot of spaced out people.
yeah,
And once they keep themselves isolated, they won't have any problems.
mm,
I mean, the one case they finally had in Lethem came from Brazil,
right, 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 right.
right? A person who refused to stay home, or I
Mm,
shouldn't say stay home, stay out of Brazil,
mm, yeah.
right?
So the lessons are making sure that we remain physically distant because that slows down the spread significantly. And
Yeah, kind of. I mean, with viruses, it's very difficult.
mm,
You never know what's going to happen with them. I mean, viruses attack animals, plants, humans. It don't matter. There's a
mm.
virus for everything.
Have
And
you?
this is
Right,
not
right,
a new virus. It's been around forever. It
yeah.
is a common cold virus.
Mm,
It's just
so,
that every now and again you get a bad one.
yeah.
I mean, I just learned that during Woodstock they had a bad flu outbreak that killed a lot of people.
Mm, mm,
Right?
mm,
But it happens regular and it will continue to happen. It's not going to change things.
I sense that there's a lot of knowledge sitting in you there that really needs to be tapped. So I look forward to being able to have you as my guest again in the future for a longer interview, maybe on some areas that with you. How many decades is that of existence now, and in the business field?
60 for the company.
Right. So I'm sure that there are many lessons sitting in you there that could really serve Guyana and maybe far further afield as well.
Yeah, people keep thinking agriculture as give somebody some land and tell them go and plant.
Mm,
All you do is creating failures.
yeah. It needs to be well planned, well
It needs to be
resourced.
properly planned. You can't just say we're going to ban broccoli or cauliflower from coming in. You got to see how much broccoli and cauliflower is coming in which months, and then you plan your seedlings and your planting,
Mm,
and then you can start back.
yeah.
A ban doesn't work.
I
As I
definitely
said,
would like to.
negative never works.
Yeah. I'd definitely like to go deeper. I come from an agriculture family as well. I'm an engineer as well, so it's really close to my heart. And it's probably one of the things that should already have Guyana as the wealthiest place with uh, how well we are placed in the world to actually be able to produce and have a good climate and have soil that is very fertile, that if well managed, could really deliver volumes. But we'll
Yeah,
definitely
well,
schedule
you're a
sometime.
little wrong there. Our soil isn't that fertile. I mean, when
So,
you compare our soil to like Grenada, St. Vincent,
mhm.
most of Trinidad, right?
And what's the biggest difference? What's
Um,
the biggest difference?
our best soils are in the Guyana Highlands, and we can't get to them.
That's due to
Coastal
lack of
plains,
infrastructure.
the coastal plains were underwater for thousands of years,
Mhm.
and they've only been drained for a couple hundred.
Mm.
So you have all the inherent problems of
Salt.
very acid soils
Mm.
in on the coast in Guyana. Right?
Nice,
In
nice.
some areas, the water would be considered acid,
Mhm. Mhm.
pH of 4, 5, pH of 4.2 is quite common, and that's very acid for water.
I think this type of education, many more of us need to have, especially if we plan to do a lot more in agriculture. So I look forward to having that discussion with you in the future. Thank you for
Okay,
taking
Doc.
the time out to talk with me today, and I'm sure that people are really happy knowing that you are there to provide advice and you're there to also provide them with the supplies that are needed. All right, so thank you very much, Victor.
You're welcome, Doc. Have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye bye.